Right? That's the man you marry. You just peed in my concrete square. Okay, now there's zeros. Take 3,000. Okay guys, this is where we're going to stop today. We are going to be completely enclosing this in and turning it into a shop.
Okay, hear me out. What if we did something like 1 and 2 and in the phone?
So first we go ahead and Yoshigi bond everything. And I do want to tell you guys that the plan is to turn this building into a really cool shed shop. So make sure you subscribe, like, and comment because it truly helps us out. And it's helping us finish this homestead. And it's basically just me and Kira doing everything that we possibly can do. We've been doing great this summer. So please help us out. We really appreciate you. First, we go Yoshigi bond, which if you're not familiar with that, treats the wood at a molecular level so that it doesn't need to have all of the chemical treatment to be a treated piece of wood. And it lasts for, I don't know, hundreds of years. They've done it forever. So we actually do that instead of bringing in treated plywood or wood or any of the wood, because it's a bunch of chemicals and we're trying to stay away from that. And it's much more expensive and we're on a super tight budget. So we got our pad set up. We brought in as much gravel that we had available on the property and just, finish that up, raising this up. I've done more work on this pad than I have on any other thing that we've put together. So it was definitely a new mission. Good morning. So this is how much we got done yesterday. This is the height that needs to be. I don't know if you could tell on the framework. So my son brought us more gravel. So excited about that. Look at you, Mr. Miyagi. You figured it out, sir. He's like, this is the best spot ever. $7,000 more to go.
I gotta admit, any construction man that has this amount of patience is a saint.
Right? That's the man you marry.
Tell your son to go start finding you husbands while he's on construction sites.
I told him that. He just laughs at me.
Well, if he can't find you one your age, then tell him to look one for me. That way we have a better chance.
And then, love my kid, man. He takes care of me as much as he possibly can. So he brought some gravel for me to use to finish filling all of this in. If you're local and you're looking for gravel or anything, he's got it. Go to Ben's Landscaping in Post Falls. He delivers all over the place. And support his business. That'd be fantastic. So we went ahead and got all of this leveled out, taken care of. Like I said, this is kind of the first time that I've done this much work on the foundation. It is important, so it's definitely worth it, but I cannot afford to do the concrete because I'm on an extreme budget. So we are going to address that later on in the video, how we handle that, but learning to spray this down and actually stamp it in makes a huge difference. It is a step that I have in the past just skipped, and it is actually worth it. So if you're thinking I'm going to skip that and not do it, this tamper, it's pretty lightweight. It's heavy for what it needs to be, but it's not like the jumping jack, which physically my body would not allow that. This worked out really well and has held up nicely with the watering. So that's just a tip if you're trying to do this and you have the physical limitations that we do. You can actually do this and it does make a difference. It is worth it. So I recommend it. We have started working about 4 hours in the morning, so this project takes quite a few days for us. But again, physical limitations, it is what it is. And we were exhausted every single night. Getting this area graveled, game changer for us here on the farm. So we're just going to make you watch through us getting it to that point. The cats were super helpful, at least in their minds. Now, this is the very first Vevor shed that I have purchased. I usually get them from Costco, and I'm going to actually do a video that compares the two. And that's what the video is the Vevor versus Costco. And this is a very simple carport to put up, same as Costco. They all kind of go together the same, other than the added bracing that this one has, which I really liked. But like I said, I'm going to do a video that deep dives into the differences of the heavy duty Vevor carport versus the Costco carport. I scared him away. Didn't mean to. Whew, it's hot out here. But I got the roof on, so now we know where the legs are going to go, so we can run to the store, get the 2x4s in order to make little squares so the legs with concrete. I can't afford to do a slab right now, so we're gonna leave all of this in place, and then we'll pour the slab next year probably. I don't know, maybe some money will come in and I'll be able to do the slab this year, but I'm not counting on it. So I'm just gonna make little landing pads for the legs, and then we can get to putting this thing up. So I do want to say that if you guys are new to the channel, hi, I'm Heather, and I bought 73 acres up here in northern Idaho about 5 years ago and have been slowly but surely chipping away at building a homestead. Now, Kira is my honorary niece. She is a daughter of friends of mine from the military. She's autistic, and she hangs out with me every summer. It's fantastic. And I know that I mention her medication a lot, but you guys, it's a real thing. And if you've not been around somebody who has to be on medication in order to just basically function throughout their day, it's a game changer, the medication. And when it goes off, she's pretty non-functioning. I don't want you to think that I'm being mean about pointing it out. I just like to bring awareness to the fact that she does function really well as long as she's medicated, but she also helps me even when she's not. So they can do a lot more than most people give them credit for. Okay guys, we have a bit of a problem. So when you're looking at this, the legs are perfectly straight up and down. When you're looking at this one, get lined up here. They're pretty good, but you can see this leans in a little. Now, it can hang off it has 3 holes. So it can hang off the edge of the little concrete slab. I think it would end up like coming out to here. Can't really pick that up because I don't have attached. So that's a bit of a problem, but what you doing, buddy? You want to go for a ride? I doubt it. I doubt you want to go for a ride. You would totally run. You would be scared. You'd be a scaredy cat. So when you look at it this way, obviously that part goes up. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the legs. These ends kind of come in like this. So what happened was, I had read that these were not exactly 10 by 20, that they were actually shorter than the 20. So when I bought the 2x4x10s, I just bought 2 to do exact 20. And then we put our 2x10s on the inside of that. So now we have to adjust that. So my plan is to separate this section, put a 4-inch block in there, and then connect it with a couple of pieces of wood, or just the wood like that on the outside, on both sides. That's going to move us, so we are going to have to, as you can see, this corner's kind of blowing out a little bit. So we do have this extra gravel that we put down right here, but we're going to have to extend it, and it will go this direction, not that direction. So we're going to have to bring some of this gravel and bring our pad up here, because this is all going to shift 4 inches. So, I don't know, that far. Not that far. Okay, so I do want to mention that I should have extended this a foot on both the 10-foot side and the 20-foot side. It is going to have to be something that I address in the future on this foundation. So if you are doing this, actually do 21 feet by 11 feet for your foundation, because they lied. It was all lies. This thing is exactly 20 feet by 10 feet, but the legs kind of lean out a little bit, so you'll need more room. What? You just peed in my concrete square. Girl, do you have no shame? Cagney. She's like, I'm not looking at you. Cagney, I know what you're doing. She's like, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo.
She's like, you got no proof.
What? Hey, girl. She's like, I'm not talking to you. You're making me doing the walk of shame. All right. I'm ready to be done. Can you tell?
Yes.
And your meds are out. So now you're in slow motion and I'm in, let's get her done. Okay. I just need that. I don't need any more ideas. Let's not make it hard. Plus you're unmedicated, and usually your unmedicated ideas are a little iffy. Not over there. Right here. Hold your breath.
Don't breathe in. I breathed in.
Told you not to. You have concrete lungs. Probably not. Ooh. You guys are unlevel. Boop. Okay, before you add water, we have to move this. So we put all the legs on just as a test to find out where the legs were going to lay out. And I should have probably pulled this down and us moved it around, but we were exhausted, so we did not. We just went with it, and we're going to have to deal with it in the future. But adding these little landing pads for our feet lifts this up to the height that we need it to be, so that once the actual slab goes in, we're not trying to adjust this with, all the siding and everything put in on it. So this is going to get us started. I remember back in the day, my grandpa, when I was spending the summer with him, he put in a concrete slab in a really old garage, and they did have to kind of chisel out the legs. They did this bracing thing and chiseled it out. It was a lot of work. It turned out beautiful. It was a great experience. I was 10 years old. I pretty much believed he was the coolest man on the earth, and I don't think I was wrong. We're one bag short, so we're on our way to Home Depot to get one bag. See you when we get back. Oh, yeah, this was a real bummer. We were so tired, and having to drive into Home Depot to get one bag of concrete was super frustrating. But I actually did not want to have a bunch of bags of concrete sitting around here. I just have to remember that you can return them. They do take them back. So just always buy a little bit extra and then return it, so that you don't have to do that trip in, because that was very, very frustrating. Good morning, my friends. It's the next day, and the fog definitely rolled in, and I just think it looks really cool out here when the fog's all over the place. It's like a scary movie. Being in the woods, it definitely is. We waited for all of that to clear up, pulled the legs off, put the bracing on the roof cap part, and prepped for adding the metal. So I bought 2x3s because they're lighter. So you definitely want to put the least amount of weight on these because obviously they're not built to hold a bunch of weight. And I've had some absolutely crash in because of too much weight on the roof. So I would go with a 2x3 instead of a actual 2x4 or anything heavier because you're just adding weight that you don't actually need. The nice thing about these metal roofs is everything just slides right off. So you're not going to be adding a ton of extra weight to it by putting the metal roof on other than the weight of the metal. Okay, that's it. I'm sweating bullets. But we got all the boards. Kira's off meds and probably really hungry. So we got all the boards on that side. We'll get up in the morning. We'll do the boards on. See if my hand will do it. That side. You have to do it really slow. The brain does. So we'll get those on this side. And then we'll stand it up. We'll put the leg braces on. And then we'll do all down the walls. And then we're going to start adding metal and such. So good night, you all. So I know it feels like we're not getting a lot done each day, but I'm dealing with some extreme plantar fasciitis in the feet. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's horrible. Do anything that you absolutely possibly can to prevent it. Buy the expensive shoes, buy the insoles that make the difference because it is the most painful thing I've ever gone through. So we were only able to work short jaunts at a time. So we had set some specific goals that we wanted to get done for the day. And that's what we kind of pushed forward to. But we did stop when I was in too much pain. And then I basically didn't get to do anything else the rest of the day. It really was just sitting around resting my feet. So we went ahead and put the rest of these on. The key that you need to think about is where's your ridge cap going to end up? You need to make sure that you have a board there to fasten the ridge cap down. And then obviously one at the bottom, and then just kind of pick one in the middle. We decided to put these on. So I've done this two ways where I've actually screwed through the board into the pipe. And I feel like that does compromise it just a tiny bit. And you know, these again aren't built for this. So any little bit of strength I want to keep. So we ended up using, I guess it's called that plumber's tape. So it's that metal tape that has the holes in it. And we wrapped that around the pipe and into the wood. And I have to tell you that that actually worked really, really well. You could adjust these boards a little bit before you put the metal on. But once the metal was on, they have not moved. They've held up really well. This is the first time I've ever put a metal roof on like this. And it was difficult to stand it up, I'm not going to lie. But it was so easy getting this roof on, where you will see in the future, if you hang around, we have to put a metal roof on the chicken coop, which is also one of these carports. It's the one from Costco. It's going to be hard. We're going to have to be on ladders. We're going to have to create platforms. We're going to have to do all of those things. And it is going to be difficult to do and painful for my feet. So this is turning out really well. I've never put a roof on like this first, and man, it looks really nice. We decided to do this because of my plantar fasciitis in my foot. I don't know if I explained that to you in the voiceover, but getting on a ladder was going to be super painful. So this is going to be heavy, but we're going to try to lift it and add the legs after we get the roof on. Now I've put many roofs on, quite a few of these, and they take the snow load really well because the snow does not stick even at this very slight of a roof pitch, which I think it's like a 2. But I've had quite a few over here and they haven't held any snow. The snow slides right off. And so there really is no load on the roof other than the metal. So we've tried other things, tarps. I did plywood. The plywood was way too heavy. And then I did a tarp over that, way too heavy. So this will work. The biggest thing that I like about this carport is the fact that it has this bracing, which is really going to help hold that where it should be. I don't know if we're going to stop here for the day. We have our members live. So every Thursday night, we do a members live and we chit chat, and I keep them posted on what is actually being done at the time it's being done. So if you have ever wanted to be a member, it's not expensive. I have very low tiers because I get it, y'all. I'm broke too. You can join and then you can get a whole lot of other things that we add. I do walkabouts when we're doing a project every day and show what we've gotten to accomplish each day. But like right now, we're working on 2 projects, this one and the water tank area. And so I can show all of that, and then the video comes out and you guys are like, oh yeah, I remember when she was doing that. But anyway. So I just want to thank all of my members. You guys help us out to where we actually receive payment for our videos, and it helps us continue to build out here and do the things that we're doing. So thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you would know. And if you're not a member and you want to be a member, you should be a member because we're a lot of fun here. Like I said with this roof, when I was talking about it earlier, it went up really quickly. We did take 2 days, you know, because we're just slow, and it's fine. But I do feel like if you had, if you physically could do it, you could definitely get this roof up in 1 day. Where I think when we had it, where I have to put it up high, it ended up taking me like 3 days, and it was very physically exhausting. So especially if you have a skid steer available or something like that, I would definitely recommend doing it this way. This held together really well, as you'll see in the video of going up, of lifting up. It was a game changer for me, and we have one more of these buildings that we're going to be putting up with the Costco shed, and to go over our Costco carport, to go over my water tank and create a storage area over the water tank. And we're going to try to figure out how to do this. The difference with that one is it will actually be on a deck, and so instead of doing this concrete foundation, it'll have a deck. So, you know, I don't know, I think we have some pretty good ideas, and I do think that this works really well for somebody who's on an extreme budget and you can't afford the kits of the other ones that they make to go this way. This does the job. I have one that is set up that has a metal roof on it, and it's lasted 5 years with all the different snow loads that we've had. We've had some mild winters and we've had some extreme 4 foot of snow winters. And it's set under trees, so it also gets the dropping of the snow off the trees onto the roof, and it has maintained perfectly fine. In fact, we're going to be moving that one into our pig yard for a shelter for the pigs here in the future. So I don't know, I feel like these are financially a way to go if you're beginning or you want a temporary building put up somewhere and you don't want to spend $2,000 to do it. This Vevor shed I paid $253 for. Now this metal I purchased 5 years ago, so I got it at like $3 a foot. But right now locally in our area it is let's just say $5 a foot, and these panels are 6-foot panels. So you're looking at $30 a panel, and I used 14 for this roof, and then 3 ridge caps because I extended over a little bit and I needed that extra. You have to have an overlap on the ridge cap. So I cut a 2-foot section off of one of the ridge cap pieces and slipped that under there, and that was able to fill in the entire ridge cap area. So you really can do this at a cost savings, and you know, I'm pleased with it. I think it turns out really well and it looks really nice. And that's the other thing that I would say is when you get your property, buy as much of this type of stuff as you can, because the price is only going to go up and you're going to end up spending a lot more money than what you would have. Like this metal and stuff, I got a really good discount on it. I had purchased it for my big shop build and a big garage build, and physically I'm not able to work on those. So right now we're just doing what we can with what we've got, and this is what we can do. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. That's a tip on building your homestead. We'll just kind of get back to talking about the build. I don't know. Sometimes these voiceovers are hard to do. Sometimes they come out real easy and it's no big deal. We struggled, you guys. We struggled until I remembered, hey, if we both grabbed a board and lifted with this, this would go up really easy. And it was amazing how much easier it was to just use that board and lift it that way. We should have started on the other side because we have a hill right there, which almost put that. So as you can see right here, it put that end, that side basically on the ground. So then we had to try to figure this out. Okay, that was not easy, but I think we figured it out. Definitely using the board to help lift. We're gonna try to do this other side. You're not gonna help, kitty. You're actually gonna be in the way. Woo, move it, move it.
Like, I want inside. I'm a snack.
We did start with the skiddy. It kind of bent one of the bars. So then I put this bracer wood 2x3 up on there, and that got it lifted just enough for us to be able to get under there and physically lift it without breaking that board. That was my worry, you know, because if this does fall down, then you're kind of SOL, because it will crash and break the entire thing and it would be bad. So we used our bodies, probably not recommended, to get this lifted up, to get these legs under there. It wasn't too awful. It was heavy, I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't absolutely unable to do. You know, a couple of guys, 3 or 4 guys would have been able to do it really easily, because men are definitely stronger than women. I mean, that's a legit thing. But yeah, now we just shifted it over onto our little slabs, get it set into place, and pretty much called it a day after that. It did look nice though. Oh, nope, wait, forgot one thing. I don't know why, but some of the metal overlapped farther on this end piece, so I had to cut it off. So we got all dressed up in my new little welding shirt and gloves and a mask and a hat and glasses, and took the circular saw after running a chalk line and drawing that in and cut that off, and then it looked fantastic. Okay, now there's zeros. Take 3,000. So what we have left, we actually haven't worked on this at all today, you guys. It's Sunday. We've been running errands, we've been doing water runs, we took naps, we just got up, and it's probably the hottest part of the day, and we're gonna come out here and lift this. So the 2 things we have left is the bracing and putting on the second half of the leg. So I don't know, Kira, what do you think? Should we put the rest of the leg on or the bracing on?
I say the legs on, because the bracing can make it harder, but at the same time the bracings could make it to where the legs don't move out of place.
True.
If we square it.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of hard. We'll have to think about it. I think I agree with you on doing the legs first, just because there'll be no movement in these legs once we get that bracing on.
And if we put the bracing on after, that'll help square it better.
Right.
So.
Except for I'll have to do the high ones. You can do the low ones.
There are no low ones.
There are 2. There's a top side and a low side to it. It was not a short joke. Okay, we thought long and hard, and we came up with this. Now, I have no idea if it's going to work, but we're going to go back to the leveraging system that we did before, but we needed to be able to leverage farther down. So here's what we did. Ta-da! So we screwed these on. Each corner has a brace, and we're going to put the board right there and try to lift from that, and it should hold the legs together. It should be fantastic. Now to see if that's true, because we've never done this before. The other thing that we could do is bring the skid loader over and lift with the forks, which is what Kira wants to do right now. But I want to see if this works. Like, I'm desperate to try things without machinery so that we're not so reliant on the machinery that when we don't have it, we don't know how to do things. So we're going to try this. Ready? Let's go. Level. Okay, let's try it. Let's give it a whirl, girl. Let's give it a try, guy. I pretty much think Kira wants to shank me at this point. She's exhausted. I'm exhausted. We're being kind of goofy now. We called in reinforcements. So we added some more bracing, and we're going to lift it with the skid steer. So my son's a professional at using this skid steer, so we called him in. And after the extra bracing, look at this. It doesn't even, the roof doesn't even give when he lifts it. Yoop, there it goes. One solid piece. It was fantastic. I am looking at some winches and, I don't know, adding some things and trying to figure some things out so that we can do this without the machinery, especially for the other one that we're doing, because there really won't be room for the machine to get back into that area. But this worked great. Look at that. Perfect. I was scared, y'all. I thought the legs were going to bend and that they were going to break, but they held. They did really well. You know, and stood right up. It was wobbly. You definitely could wiggle it around. We are adjusting the legs at this point, and then we're going to go ahead and put on the side bracing here in a little bit. Yeah, this is us doing that now. Gosh, we were so tired. But these went on really easy. It's fit perfectly for this, and they really make a difference. They made actually a huge difference. So luckily we have no wind in this area, hardly ever. So we should have a couple of days to finish the sides and ends so that this thing won't take off like a kite, because that would be terrible. Had to get over here in this shade. I'm exhausted. Had a little sunburn. Okay guys, this is where we're going to stop today. We are going to be completely enclosing this in and turning it into a shop, so make sure that you subscribe if you want to see how we end up finishing this building. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm super excited about it. And it was very easy using the skiddy. Manually, we haven't figured that out yet, but I definitely want to, because there's a lot of times we don't have the machinery and we need to know how to do it. So I don't know, I'm thinking floor jacks, maybe some winches. Let me know if you guys have an idea down in the comments, and make sure you subscribe. We'd love to see you back. Bye. Here she comes, just a walking down the street singing. Stepping her fingers and a shuffling her feet singing. Say goodnight.
Ciao.